Monday, July the 6th, 2020, and once again I'm in Central Bedfordshire, this time about to undertake a North Herts Ramblers e-walk Old Warden Circular, number of which escapes me at the minute, but not to worry. I'm parked in the church car park here, a church which has featured on a previous walk of mine, one of the SWC walks. Again, I forget which one. Probably one that entailed or involved the Greensand Ridge, which we will walk on again today. So here is Old Warden Church, St Leonards, Diocese of St Albans again, and it is open. Don't think I'll bother going in. Could have done though a couple of minutes ago because we've just had a shower of rain, which wasn't forecast. The wind was. It is quite breezy today, but nothing like as bad as it was yesterday, thankfully. It's a grey old day. Not expecting much change there either. It's very unseasonal at the moment, both wind-wise and sun-wise. Looks like we might have had our sun for the year during the first 6 weeks of lockdown. Hey ho. Quick view of the graveyard. Some kind of mausoleum or tomb over there as well. Yeah, very dark in here. Everything is done for COVID protection. Got the old safety distances as well. Bell tower behind me. Memorial there to Shuttleworth, whose agricultural college is next to this. That's what Shuttleworth, apart from the airfield I guess, or aerodrome, is best known for. And as you can see, he was actually killed in service in 1940, 2nd of August, 2 years before my mum was born. It's almost as if nothing has changed in here. One final view before we depart. It's about 12:30. Got about 11 miles to do today. So upon leaving the church, we're out into open countryside straight away. Nice clean fresh air today. Good walking temperature, about 17, late teens. So as you can see, we're just walking past Palmer's Wood as the wind gusts a little. Yeah, last time I did this walk in the opposite direction, because I remember this phone mast here disguised as a conifer. So I'm doing it in a clockwise direction today for a change. About to enter that wood ahead of us there. So as you can see, we're on a path I've walked before, the North Beds Heritage Trail. Nice little woodland shack over there on the left. Wonder if that's got utilities. Yeah, totally agree with that. Obviously the hare coursing occurs earlier in the year because it's now a field of barley. So we come out the woodland here, do a quick right and then a quick left. Certainly plenty of warning notices against various crimes up here. Horse theft, hare coursing. Interesting. So we take a right here along the Greensand Ridge Walk now, where we were last week, or an extension of it. Skylark up out the corn. There's the very large hangars at Cardington, which I filmed not so many months back. Looking ominously grey out there as well. And another ridge line in the distance. So that makes that Bedford in the distance there. The town of, with the current high COVID R rate. Almost in a lockdown position like Leicester. Similar ethnic makeup, explaining that. As you can see, we join a number of paths here. Old Warden Circular, North Beds Heritage Trail and the Greensand Ridge Walk. Take a left here, or straight on effectively. Another very pleasant tree tunnel here, Greensand Ridge Walk, field boundary, wheat next door to me here. Good view of Sandy Heath over there, where I was not so many months back, my sandy circular. Also on the Greensand Ridge Walk. At this juncture you don't take the footpath right here, but continue straight ahead through these black sacks. Over there in the brighter distance on my right, I believe those wind turbines are over towards Biggleswade. So, with regards bird song reducing, at the moment I'm hearing at the same time a chaffinch, a blackbird, a whitethroat, and a blackcap. Not much else though really, as I say, molting season now. And of course the old chiff-chaff, as it just starts to spit again, so just as well I'm under cover. However, the onward journey here is right out into open country before we hit the next wood in the far distance there, so I'll tarry a bit. Usual story as we come near to a farm. Luckily the field appears safe at the moment. Now what's that bird of prey over there on that wire? Probably a sparrowhawk. Can't get in close. There he goes. I was going to say I couldn't even get in close enough. Too far away, and even from this distance he got wind of me. Now I wonder what those Target Zero hire bikes are doing over there, and if they're from Bedford. Interesting. That horse is well protected round the ankles, I notice, with some kind of I don't know if that's a protection or for arthritis, perhaps, I don't know. Maybe somebody, one of the rare horse viewers I get, seeing as after I've slated them all off, might be able to explain. Very nice red brick building there. Bit of brickwork on that barn. Tiled roof, lovely. Just entering Home Wood now, which is not far from Northill, where I hope to take my lunch. It's 1:30 presently, and as you can hear, very quiet. Now a decent section of woodland walking. Having come round that field edge, whereas previously there I thought we were in the wood, but we weren't. We are now. So there you go, you've had your warning. The path is well marked anyway. Greensand Ridge Walk. Potential footpath diversion here. Dated the 7th of Feb, so pre-Covid, just about. And obviously not yet in place. What's the reference number, in case anybody needs to know? Don't know. Anyway, it's diversion of parts of Northill Public Footpath 2 and 3. The information you need may be there. Very pleasant chiff-chaff in the background. We're still on the Greensand Ridge Walk here, so I doubt this is going to be diverted. Similar notice there in the wood, which is the path I took when I did the SWC walk, which I think began in Biggleswade from memory. Might have been a Biggleswade Circular, but yeah, so that also applies. Okay, so they've got a fish farm not far distant from here. Interesting. Turn right, we're going straight on though. Got some of those Greensand Ridge poems. This one by Ed Burnett. Obviously it's one of 7, one of which we filmed in the last walk, so that's 2 we've passed. Yeah, this might be part of the fish farm here. I recall this when I did the SWC walk. The butterflies again, meadow browns, and I think amongst them. There's an old biplane taking off from Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth is famous for its big in-hill type displays in the summer. There's my lunchtime pit stop coming into view, the church at Northill. Interesting green fruit here that I don't recognise. Probably because I don't eat it, whatever it is. Next to a nice apple tree as well in this person's garden. Yeah, I recall this now from the SWC walk. This is an extension of the cemetery on the other side of the road to the church. There is said church, name of which we'll discover shortly. There might not be any seats in this one, if I recall. So here's the church again from another angle. There are one or two seats outside the storm porch area, but better still, that's the Crown at Northill, the lunchtime pub if you want one. But there are some seats over by the green village pond, etc., which I shall utilise. 2 o'clock on the button, church bells just rung, and here we go, another St Mary the Virgin. Popular saint, isn't she? Certainly in these parts. So it doesn't seem to be much going on at the Crown at the moment, but there are one or two cars in the car park, could be the owners, but maybe not yet open. Anyway, worries me none. Here's the village pond and green and the aforementioned seats. So let's get tucked in. Okay, 2:35, lunch has been had. Very pleasant it was as well. So 4 miles roundabout to this point, round about another 7 to go. So the division is not brilliant, but timing is. So let's press on. How many more phases are there going to be? It's relentless. Parting shot of St Mary's Northill. Wind's picked up a bit now, as you may be able to hear. Pretty flat arable land out here at the moment. See the wind turbine over at RSPB Sandy Heath Lodge is pretty filmed that a couple of months back, as you recall. Some of you might do. Yeah, so windy it's difficult to control the camera at the moment. Caldecote House Farm Conservation area, and it was interestingly enough, I did see a lapwing peewit last time I did that Biggleswade walk, so that's probably thanks to them. And you can hear skylark. Quite a busy B road just there that I've had to walk alongside. There is a footpath, so no problem. Now, as you can see, this barley has got to be ready. Must just be the weather that's stopping it being cut right now. Possibly too windy. But it certainly looks ready. This looks like a relatively new hawthorn hedge on my left, which is good to see. Probably because it's a conservation farm. But that's great. Certainly been set since the walk was created. A lot of these walks were created around 2011, 2010 time. So, you know, we're talking a decade now. Yeah, there you go. Another information panel telling us about the skylark, corn bunting, skylark and brown hare. Now, next to this information panel is one of these water points, and I was going to say that there's a path opposite which you don't take. That one. Continue on straight. We are more into market gardening in this area, these being spring onions by the looks of it. There was also a variant of this walk starting at Beeston, which is very close to the A1, and because of that I didn't start that variation. Probably won't do that variant either because it's very similar to this walk, which is far better. The A1 is around about half a mile away from where I'm stood presently. That's close enough for my liking. Now coming into the village of Upper Caldecote. So as you can see, some late 18th century cottages there. And opposite them is our onward journey down this footpath. Now leaving Upper Caldecote behind us and headed out towards the village of Ickwell. Hopefully the winds have eased a bit now. Certainly looking at the weather forecast, that seems to be the case. Leaving Upper Caldecote behind us now, and again example of market gardening round here. Got some broad beans in this field, so lots of variety because it's getting a bit fenland like from here on eastwards. Clearly the River Ouse goes through Bedford, which is not that far distant, so makes sense. In the distance there on my left is that redundant house that I walked past last time I was on the North Beds Heritage Trail. Can't remember its name. Anyway, really sticks out on that hillside there. Now by contrast, this field of barley is still quite green. This must be spring set. Yeah, I got that totally wrong. That's Shuttleworth College, because now the airfields come into view. That's also good to see. Having said that though, these field verges are still being cut like they are over my way. So there you go, Shuttleworth Airfield with the college in the background there. The old windsock's moving well this afternoon. Sun's out now, very pleasant. Wonderful bit of wild field margin here. And a very pleasant bit of walking as well. The old teasel there, dragonfly, just flew over. The variety of plants in this section is amazing. All farmers should do this. Just leave a section wild, it's brilliant. And that set aside is all going on next to a field of wheat. Wonderful. Passing some old pits of some description here. Still on the North Beds Heritage Trail, and there's a herd of beasts I'm glad are on the other side of the fence. Bit of agricultural history there, very good. Got a bit of dodgy road walking now. There's a big lake on the left, according to the map. Other side of this hedge, stroke trees. Doubt we'll get to see it. Right, you've got about half a mile of road walking before you get to this point. This public footpath next to this cottage. And a very pleasant thatched gatehouse it is. Very surprising that it is a thatch, because this is predominantly pine forest now, and likely to be a fire at any point. The whole lot could go up. I bet they can't get insurance on that thatch. And there you go. It's a tinderbox. Decent vista ahead of us. There is a permissive path here up to Keeper's Cottage, which the GPX does take. I didn't do that previously when I walked this route in reverse for SWC, so I will take it this time. Got a new plantation of conifers coming through here, remnants of the old trees that have been felled. And over there on my right is Keeper's Cottage, I do believe. What a wonderful little place, eh? Don't think it's lived in presently, but lovely. That must be the Shuttleworth style, the colour scheme, etc. In the sandy soil here, you've got loads of solitary bees. It's a bee that looks like it's a hoverfly type that looks like a wasp. Get some of these up my way. Pretty good views as we ascend. The high point today, by the way, is around 250 foot, and the low one about 87, I think, so not much variation. Another folly. Yeah, interesting. Wonder what purpose that served. This woodland, by the way, is Warden on the map. So the other building is Queen Anne's Summer House, owned by the Shuttleworth Trust now. Restored only 2008-9. Landmark Trust. Google that if you wish to learn more. Looks like it's back open again. The Swiss Garden, by the way, is where the Met Office do their weather reporting from, because that was coming up when I was checking the weather, which has turned out okay now. Lots of the old village features still remain. Passing the memorial to the Great War. The village hall. Opposite the village hall is the Charlie Wells Bedford Ales pub, Hare and Hounds.
Hello, you're right. Yeah, you're right to bring those bits in because I'll get all.
So that's when the clock was restored, and it is accurate. Just gone 5 o'clock. Now opposite what is a guest house, you have a public footpath, and that takes us up to the church. Perfect. So there's a perfect ending there if you need a pint after a decent walk, and back up to where we parked. Well, just as the weather forecast predicted, the evening is going to be the best part of the day today, unfortunately. But hey ho. So as we approach St Leonards Church again, at the end of another excellent walk from the North Arts Ramblers group. I'll tell you the stats in a minute, but they won't be very accurate because my GPS stopped for some unknown reason a couple of times during the course of the afternoon. There is the house we saw earlier from the fields. Wonderful. Lake down there as well. You can have teas in their house as well over the summer months. I don't know if they'll be doing that this year. You know, like tea and afternoon tea and cream cakes and what have you. High tea. Well, I might as well wrap it up here rather than filming the church again. But that was 4 hours 45 minutes. It's 5:15 now. And just over 10 mile. 10.2 mile according to the GPX I was following, which is more accurate than the one that I've used to record. So let's go with that. Anyway, that was a very nice walk. Again, lots of variety, good footpaths. Shouldn't be a problem at any time of the year really, being on Greensand. So yeah, highly recommend it. What a cracking evening though it's turning out to be now. Till the next time.